Not too long ago, I talked about live action adaptations when I covered the Tom and Jerry movie that was painfully below average. So I decided to take a look at another one, but this time I wanted to go back to the 1990s, when kids' movies were more unhinged and off the rails. And boy howdy, did I hit the jackpot with 101 Dalmatians. I can't even begin to explain how weird, insane, and over the top this movie is, all while featuring some of the best animal acting I've ever seen. Honestly, we have to get through the plot for you to understand this movie and how wild it truly is. So with that, let's get into it. The movie opens in London, where an alarm clock falls on a dog's head, and then the dog just starts doing the morning tasks for its owner. This adorable dog gets the shower ready, makes coffee, talks to a fucking computer, and gets the milk. Elsewhere, another dog watches the news where we learn about illegal poaching in the wild, but now it's happening to animals that are in captivity. The news anchor says it was a white Siberian tiger who was killed by a private collector, which angers the dog, and rightfully so. Our human owners for this movie are Roger, played by Jeff Daniels, who is Pongo's owner, the good boy who does all of his household chores apparently, and Anita, played by Jolie Richardson, who is Perdita's owner, the dog who doesn't like illegal poaching. Roger sits and talks to Pongo in the park about how he has to nail this meeting, while casually Anita and Perdita stroll by. Okay, then Roger goes to the big meeting he was talking about, and it's him pitching his video game where you're a Dalmatian dog beating up an animal catcher. He is pitching this to a child, and one guy in the room says that this child has picked the best-selling video games for the last 5 years. But this kid is like 9, maybe 10 max, so he was 5 and picking video games for you guys? This company sounds irresponsible. So the kid doesn't like it, and on his way out, he calls it rubbish and says girls won't like it. And after that, a very villainous looking car with Devil as a license plate pulls up, and we meet Cruella DeVille, played by Glenn Close. Cruella is a major fashion designer who Anita works for, and she shows the Devil her latest design work. While doing so, Cruella sees a picture of Anita's dog, so she proceeds to then ask a ton of really weird questions, and even gets excited when Anita says that the dog's hair is fine when they're puppies.
That's suspicious.
So Cruella tells Anita to come to her office so she can ask her more questions, while also saying that she doesn't want to lose her to a competitor. And Anita responds by saying that the only way she'll leave is if she gets married, and working for Cruella doesn't fit with the plans. To which Cruella drops this wonderful line.
More good women have lost a marriage into war, famine, disease, and disaster. You have talent, darling. Don't squander it.
She continues by saying how much she loves fur and says that they make a coat, it'll be like wearing Anita's dog, and then she breaks out into an evil laugh. I may have used the "that's suspicious" meme a little too soon.
That's weird.
Shortly after, Pongo and Perdita lock eyes and fall in love as romantic music swells in the background. And Pongo, being a dog of action, he sprints after his love at first sight and basically drags Robert along through oncoming traffic, causing car crashes, and eventually Pongo just breaks free, which results in Roger flying into the pond.
I don't think he wanted to do that.
Roger thinks Perdita is his dog, but uh-oh, that's Anita's dog, so she just smacks him with her backpack. Roger verifies that it's not Pongo when he tries to locate a rocket of the red variety. And after this guy tried to steal her dog, Anita says that they both have a certain fondness for Dalmatians, while they watch their dogs fall in love before they go their separate ways. This time, Perdita decides to take off in a sprint so Anita can get the near-death experience and take a swim in the pond as well. They dry off at Roger's house where he says that the dogs are in love, so he just blurts out, "Do you want another cup of marriage?" She responds by saying, "I do," and wait, what? What do you mean that they're getting married? Is this real? This is real. They met and they're just gonna get married? Oh, and the dogs get married at the same time? That's cute. two strangers meeting and then immediately getting married is not cute. That's not cute. That's weird. Meanwhile, Jasper, played by Hugh Laurie, is at a taxidermy shop with Cruella's assistant from earlier. This dude Skinner, great villain name by the way, Disney, gives them a case before they head off to the devil's house, who is currently seeing the news about Anita's wedding, because I guess Anita made front page news with her wedding to some random game developer who didn't even get his game picked up. Back with Anita and Roger, he shows Pongo an update to his game, and this nanny lady tells Anita that her dog is major preggo. Then the dog tells the nanny that Anita is also pregnant by nodding her head. So after both of them have their doctor's appointments at the same time, Cruella is just in their house when they get back. Now, I think all of this is happening over the course of a few weeks, but it plays out like it's just a couple of days. Anita tells Cruella that they're having a baby, and she just straight up tells them that sucks. But she does get excited when they say that they're also having puppies, and she says that she wants to be notified the moment they arrive. We time skip to puppy delivery day, where Jasper and his henchmen roll up to check things out. And then this poor dog has 15 fucking puppies. But then the nanny comes out and says, just kidding, it's 14 because one died. That just feels unnecessarily sad, but then the puppy is alive like a minute later, so maybe don't trust this nanny? And my next question is, how is a game designer who can't sell a game and an on-leave fashion designer going to take care of 17 dogs and a baby while also paying this nanny who you can't trust? Oh wait, it's 1996. That makes sense. I heard you could buy a house for only a dream and a hay penny back then. Is that true? Cruella shows up with a thunderous entrance and continues to be an obvious villain when she complains about how they don't have any spots on their fur. Cruella had the same thought I did because she also questions how they plan to take care of the puppies, and she offers them $75,000 to purchase the lot. They shut her down, so she says Anita is fired and that they can just drown the puppies for all she cares, because I guess to her, if you're not killing the puppies and making a coat, they might as well just be drowned.
Stop it. Get some help.
We time jump again to the winter, and all the puppies get their collars with their dog names. And if you think I'm about to start naming all 15 of these dogs and also remember which is which while carrying out the rest of this plot, you'd be crazy, because I'm not doing that. They will all be referred to as puppies, whether it's singular or plural in nature. But they do name one Whizzer because it pees on the couch. And of course, there's a pee joke in a kid's movie, because the golden rule is either one pee joke or one poop joke. At the same time, Jasper and his henchmen get into the house and they stuff the nanny into the closet and dognap all the little puppies. While that's going down, Anita and Roger are just sitting in the park casually while they let their nanny basically do everything for them. Jasper calls to tell Cruella that they got the puppies, and then she tells her assistant to add them to the pile so she can make her puppy coat. And when Anita and Roger get home, they find out what happened and also rescue the nanny from under the stairs. Yeah, so if a lot of Dalmatians are going missing, you should definitely start with the crazy lady who's obsessed with them. You know, the lady who kept asking you question after question about your dogs and was specifically excited about all the details when they were puppies? Yeah, maybe you should start with her? No, instead, Anita and Roger call the cops, who are no help at all, but Pongo, being a dog of action, goes onto the roof to bark at all the dogs in London. The message gets back to a dog who earlier chased the truck that Jasper was driving when they kidnapped all the puppies. So Pongo and Perdita use the button to open their front door and take off when they get the message about where their puppies might be. Then, the same dog who chased the truck and did charades to get the message over to Pongo and Perdita goes full Ninja Dog and breaks into Cruella's compound. Ninja Dog Amazing Pants, their official name, finds the room that they're hiding in. Cruella moves up the timeline because of growing suspicions, so Skinner packs his tools and heads over to be the worst kind of human being. Anita finally puts it together that her design is what Cruella is going to do with the puppies, so our heroic duo race over. Pongo and Perdita come across an electric fence where a bird lands on Pongo's fucking nose. Holy shit, that is just so fucking adorable. Like, wow. Just wow. The bird leads them to an opening so they can also arrive at Cruella's compound, where another dog is playing ninja. And at the same time, a team of squirrels sabotage the wiring in the car, while a raccoon handles the tailpipe. Then we get a fun sequence of a bird knocking on the door in order to mess with Jasper and his goon, because every time they open it, nobody is there, but the bird just keeps fucking with them. And Ninja Dog Amazing Pants leads all the puppies out of the room in a prison break, but one named Lucky is left behind. The last puppy then basically home alones Jasper and the goon by peeing and making them slip, baiting them to a section of rotting floor, and baiting the goon to slip, fly out a window, through some bricks, and then into the frozen pond. Okay, this one might have just murdered that guy, and I'm okay with it. I'm on their side. They had no choice. Oh, no, the goon is fine. Might die later from hypothermia because he literally freezes in place, but at least the dog's not a murderer. And again, that guy deserved it. Cruella shows up, and while Jasper rambles for an excuse, a skunk sneaks into her car as she drives away. And then a herd of sheep and a fearless protector hide the puppies as Cruella drives by, searching for them. Skinner arrives at the house and the last remaining puppy gets cornered, but another dog rushes in and beats up Skinner. The police finally arrive and they search Cruella's house and find the Siberian tiger coat, and Pongo and Perdita get directions from a crow. It leads them to the herd of puppies, and since earlier they had 99, with the inclusion of Pongo and Perdita, that means we now have 101 Dalmatians, everybody.
He said it! He said it!
Cruella finds the barn of animals they're hiding in, so the puppies go full Mission Impossible mode and hide in the hay and other spots around the barn. To help the dogs out, a crow steals her hat and a horse kicks her back like 10 feet while she's peering through the door. And then Cruella mistakes a pig's tail for a puppy, and when she pulls on it, the whole thing comes crashing down on top of her. Then she gets baited by raccoons to a trap door, which drops her into a pot of molasses. At the same time, a small batch of bunnies leave some footprints for Jasper and the goon to follow, which leads them directly to the electric fence. And their bright idea is to stack logs and then jump over it, but instead, they get fried testicles to go. Then they spot the cops and they think that they're being saved, but instead they get arrested where Skinner is already chillin'. Back with the devil, she yells and berates the animals, saying that one day they will be sausage meat, so a horse kicks a board to send her flying into some pig shit. Hey, both a pee and a poop joke in this kid's movie. That's 2 for 1. The police then show up to arrest her, and all the puppies end up in police cars, while Ninja Dog Amazing Pants has a moment that reminds me of Black Hawk Down when he walks with Lucky down the street. It's pretty funny, honestly. Cruella scolds Jasper and the goon in the back of the police car in this pretty funny moment.
You've just won gold, silver, and bronze in the Morons Olympics.
Who won the gold?
Shut up!
Oh, and the skunk from way back when finally pops out to spray everyone in the back of the police car. The cops then ask Roger and Anita to help them find a home for all the puppies, or else they'll have to all go to the pound. So logically, they help them find people to adopt them. No, of course not. Instead, being the impulsive, irresponsible people they are, they decide to take all 99. Roger ends up selling his game to the kid from before, and after that, we hear that all the puppies had puppies, and then those puppies had puppies, while the camera is panning out from a giant spotted castle on the hill. How are y'all taking care of all these dogs? Movie's over, by the way. That's how it ended, with him getting the game and then all the puppies having puppies. But I seriously don't see how that's even feasible, because they have a kid, and I just don't get it, but I'm gonna move past it now. Okay, for starters, Glenn Close might be the best live-action villain casting I've seen in a long time. She plays an insane psycho animal murderer who only wants to make coats to absolute perfection. I fully believe how crazy and unhinged this lady is, and the fact she's willing to murder puppies, and a lot of puppies at that, all for a coat? Yeah, that's a top-notch villain in my book. At one point, she's talking about how she's fantasizing cutting them up and making her coat. This woman needs therapy. The other human characters are fine, and besides the bad guys, everyone else is just kind of there, not doing a whole lot, which I think is a good thing for this movie. I mean, with House and Ron Weasley's dad playing the dumb henchman who can't do anything right, you don't really need any other humans anyways. This allows for the animals to take the center stage, and I'm so grateful they went with practical effects in this movie. There is one shot in this movie that stood out to me as bad, and it's when the dogs go down this slide. And even that has a small bit of charm in the way that it looks. I mean, it doesn't look good, but I also don't really mind. Every single animal or puppet that they use really sold me on this being a story about the dogs and their escape. This movie is basically The Great Escape meets Home Alone, and I am here for every single part of that. The dogs fuck House and Mr. Weasley up in a lot of fun and funny ways. And also, when Cruella tracks down the puppies, she basically becomes a human test subject for how evil these animals can be, and she completely deserved it. And not to mention Ninja Dog Amazing Pants. I mean, that dog did all of his own stunts, and it's really impressive. Although, the shot of the puppies drinking milk from a cow felt unnecessary, and it's a little weird in my opinion. But I am curious how and where they got 99 Dalmatian puppies. Maybe I'm not the brightest crayon in the bulb, but is it possible for that many Dalmatian puppies to exist in London at the same time? I feel like that's not a super popular dog breed unless you're a firefighter. I will also say this movie is surprisingly funny in a lot of genuine ways. Maybe it's because I watched these with a little Snoop Dogg style smoke, but the old lady on the bench really got me.
I don't think he wanted to do that.
Now, there is one of those Disney prequel villain stories about Cruella starring Emma Stone, and I haven't seen it, but if I had to guess, they keep the trend of making them not that bad. I don't think this is a villain that could ever be anything other than pure evil, because again, she's willing to murder puppies. They did the same thing with Maleficent in her origin movie, and most recently in the Mufasa movie, where Scar isn't that bad. Just don't make origin stories about the villains that were created to be evil. I don't want to feel bad for them. I want them to get their comeuppance. Imagine if they made a movie from the perspective of the shark in Jaws, and it turns out she's just misunderstood because a fisherman killed her kid or something. Personally, that would ruin Jaws for me. Let bad guys be bad and leave it at that. So with all of that being said, I genuinely enjoyed this movie and think it's a lot of fun, and also gives you a nice nostalgia bump from the 1990s. Which means 101 Dalmatians gets to go into so bad, it's good. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to check out my video on the movie Doomsday, a Mad Max 28 Days Later inspired movie. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below what movie you'd like to see me cover in the future.